And Donna is joining. Yay. Hey, you are.
Hi, are we on?
We're on. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
I just look, hey guys, I see you guys, everyone's coming in. Pat, look, yeah, Patty's saying the clock is backwards.
Because I'm in selfie, yep.
All right, cool. Well, welcome everyone. We're here today to talk about living with chronic pain. And I'm just going to start because I have a bit of a freakier story.
Yeah.
Right, I know. It's like, this should be the Sci-Fi Channel when you hear what I have to say. But just a little background. Blandine and I both have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And the frustrating thing about it, and she and I have talked about this a lot, is that the diagnosis is called unexplained pain. So then you end up like, well, if we can't explain it, how do we fix it? Or how do we address it? Or how do we, get out of the pain? So,
Yeah.
Right?
Big question.
Right, because I don't even know how that got to be a diagnosis. But
I don't know.
It's just unexplained pain. And it's like,
my doctor said, we're testing you for everything. And if it's not something, then it's that. That's how they diagnosed it. It's like, if it's nothing else, then it's that.
Right. So that has been wildly frustrating for me. And just a little background, we're both dancers. I have had knee surgery. I have had like ovarian surgery. So I've had my share of surgeries. I did have a dance injury. And anyway, was kind of the beginning. So I've always known that there was some association between the surgeries and what happened to me. So I'm going to make a really 10-year long story short. So I started having debilitating pain in my hips. And again, went to every doctor, had every test. I did magnet therapy. I did, you name it, I did it. And nothing worked. So recently I was, someone talked to me about oxalates. And again, this is a very long story. I'm going to just condense it. Oxalates are the defense mechanisms in foods, in all plants. So they're actually to help the plant protect itself from predators, its immune system. So they're toxic because they're toxic for anything that comes in to threaten the life of the plant. So they are the same makeup as a kidney stone. So kidney stones, as many of you may know or may know someone who has had them, they're excruciating. And they're hard crystals like little pieces of glass. And they have to be eliminated. So what I've learned, fast forward, is that if you have digestion issues, which I had years ago, and there's that leaky gut or any sort of like compromise to the lining of your stomach, these oxalates that you're eating in your plant-based foods can leak out into your blood system. Then once they leak out into your blood system, they float around and they look for a place to deposit themselves. And so they literally lodge themselves into soft tissue and bone. So I'm sure you can imagine just how that might feel, just by the description.
I don't want it.
So anyway, so their toxins live in fat cells, and like I said, they look for vulnerable tissues, which explains why it started with my knee and then it went to my hip. So it was always around the places that had been compromised through surgery and were a little bit weaker and a little bit more inflamed, because the oxalates will go where it's nice and cushy. I also had endometriosis, which was another problem because it's cushy and they can get in there and then they stick. So then the one part was, I was like, well, no wonder why this is unexplained, because this is difficult to explain. Now, I know what you're all thinking. This is a freak show and it's, who has this? But I am in a Facebook group of 35,000 people. So it's not happening. I think we're just in the beginning. And I will tell you that this started, it was the surgery. And then it was, you know, I tried to get healthy. So I was eating tons of sweet potatoes and almonds and spinach, which are among the very highest, most concentrated high oxalate foods. So I'm trying to get better, and I'm loading them in, and I'm loading them in, and I'm loading them in, and I'm getting worse and worse. And I have, you know, crippling, debilitating pain where I'll look down at my legs and try to move them, and I can't even move them. They just don't work on some days. So then the issue is, how do you get them out? And so, needless to say, when you have little shards of glass now trying to work their way through your wherever, I mean, I can feel where they are, but you know, it's really, really painful. And so Blandine and I have talked a lot about how do you get up in the morning? You know, how do you go to work? We both are dancers. We both teach.
So my version of fibromyalgia is one day my body just freaked out. I couldn't wake up. I spent my days sleeping. I was in so much pain that I couldn't lift like a gallon of milk. I couldn't.
So the pain was like weakness, or you just couldn't move?
It was weakness. I had the feeling that I was losing my muscles. And as a dancer, it's like the worst feeling ever. It happened to be 1 year before I got a diagnosis. Before that, doctors were telling me, you're in depression. It's just stress. It's anxiety. I was like, no, there is something wrong. It's not just the pain. There is all these gut things, as you were saying. I mean, I'm always nauseous, and that was frustrating. Talking to a doctor, and they were telling you, eyes in the eyes, you need to see a psychologist.
So you did end up changing your diet.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, but not because a doctor told me to, because they have no idea how to get it. And it's so different for every single person that something that works for me can maybe not work for you.
Right.
So changing my diet helped me. So I'm on a keto diet. And it's like life changer. It's like I can
It's interesting.
move.
For anyone who's dealing with chronic pain, I'll tell you the 3 things that, aside from ice, I do cryotherapy and I do ice packs a lot. Aside from that, and I tell my dancers this all the time. They're like, oh, I take Aleve, I take Motrin. I'm like, nope, stop. You have to take these, right? Blandine, didn't I tell you that?
They're the best.
And it has the little red Advil pills. It has to be, I don't know what's in this stuff, but that commercial, What Pain, it has to be, whoops. It has to be these. And then I also use, which you usually need a prescription for, but you can get this on Amazon. It's just, it's backwards, but it's called Uber Numb, and they have a bunch of them. I don't know how we're even able to get it, because it's supposed to be by prescription, but you can get it on Amazon, and it's basically lidocaine. So it's numbing. So if you have like a spot, like I know we've talked about, like you get up here, and then when I didn't know what was happening to my legs, many of you know I make body products for myself, because when this all was happening, I'm like, what is happening to me? And so I was like, I'm getting all the toxins out of diet and getting all the toxins out of my body products. So I started making all my own stuff, deodorant, lip balm, everything. So I did make this, which Blandine, all of our teachers use it.
Yeah.
And it's like ice.
As I was telling you the other day, for me, when I got these spots, it's like I feel a knot of pain, like somewhere. So for example, a lot of time it's around my neck and shoulders, and I feel that knot. So I put either hot pads on it or the balm, and it's like kind of melting everything.
Yeah. Do you like heat over ice?
Yes. Ice hurts for me. The cold is the worst.
That's amazing. See, this is the whole point of fibromyalgia. Like, I go into cryotherapy at 300 below, 300 degrees below zero. I go in and I feel great. But if you have surgeries or any digestive issues, try to balance out the amount of like this whole plant thing. You know, in this Facebook group that I belong to, Me and thousands of other people are like, oh my God, I was trying to be healthy. I was eating sweet potatoes and everything. I was eating spinach in all my smoothies. I was having almond milk, almond butter, almond pancakes, almond flour, almond crackers, almond everything. And almonds are like in the top 3 highest. Typically, they should just go into your stool and eliminate. But if they get out, it is living hell. I do feel like it's worth just putting out there because I think there's some value in having some consciousness attached to what you eat. And if you go all the way one way and you've got certain things, certain variables in place, like I had, I mean, look, a lot of people never have it. Some people just get them in kidney stones. I didn't have that, but they don't come out easily. And it's years of healing, years and years of healing. So that's my 2 cents on oxalates and just being balanced.
Like me, I don't have it, but I totally get the balance thing. It's like, it's so important. And in anything, it's like, be careful not to exercise too much because it's going to trigger things. But at the same time, if you don't do nothing, that's going to trigger also. Be careful what you eat because if you eat too much of that, and it's all about working with 2 sides and being like in the middle. Like,
but then the problem is like, you don't know where the middle is.
No, it's true. And it can be different from one day to the other and from one person to the other. And it's like, yeah.
We're just talking about pain and living with it. And also specifically just diagnosed with fibromyalgia and the frustration of that, like how different mine is from Blandine's, how they have no idea what it is. And they kind of just send you off with really nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah. So basically in fibromyalgia, you have 11 points in your body that are like the main point of pain. I have all of them. Great. But the main ones for me are in my shoulders and like on just right here between the neck and the shoulder. So basically I can't move my neck and moving my arms hurt, and I have the nerve in the arm all the way to my fingers, like firing. And I have these knot here. It's really like I had this ball of pain stuck here. And so stretching helped me because I have the feeling that by stretching, and especially elastic, because there's a lot of other stretching technique that you move, but I can't move, right? Because it hurts. But elastics, it's an active stretch, but you're onto yourself and inside your body. So what I can do is like by stretching, it melts the pain. So that's why elastics for me, for my body, for my perspective, and I have students with chronic pain or pain that they are not sure what it is. And so because I know that and I know my body, I can help them. I mean, I understand what they feel. So I have the feeling that I can say the word that they understand for their body.
I've had people come up to me and say, I don't know what you just did to me, but you know, this pain is gone and that pain is gone. And I've had chronic this and chronic that. And, you know, they'll be like, I don't know. And sometimes you know how I feel. I'm like, I don't know what we did either. This is just the technique, but it does release stuff. You know, in the beginning, before this happened to me, I could understand the feeling of the stretches because I made them, right? So it's like, oh, you're going to feel this right there. You're going to feel this right. If you don't move that, then you're not going to feel. So like, I had all that worked out.
That's why I love elastics, is that in other stretching class, the movement is like that. So you need to do it like that. And they don't care about your body and what you can do and what your body can do. But in elastics, we're like really body centered and what the person can do with her or his body.
We hope you all stay well and healthy for the holiday. And again, you can DM either one of us if you've gone to share or have any.
Absolutely.
Anything.
We'll answer.
We'll answer.
We'll answer.
Yeah. Even if we're laying on the floor and we can't move.
We'll answer. We'll be there.
We'll be there. For sure. All right, Blandine, this was fun. Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys. Thank you so much for connecting.